Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Nocturnal Critic YouTube page. If this is your first time, well, I've only gotten out one video so far, but if this is your first time checking out my content, welcome to the page. I appreciate you just coming through and seeing what's going on. But anyway, I got another top 5 video today for you guys, and I promise this is not going to be a top 5 page where I cover just only top 5s, but I have had a few ideas about videos that I've been wanting to get out even before I started this YouTube page, just videos that I wanted to cover. So I'm just kind of knocking those out right now, and eventually I will be dabbling into some game reviews, but mostly movie and film reviews, show reviews and things like that. I want to stick with the whole film, video, TV kind of area and let, you know, stuff like games sort of be like a side thing that I may want to get into when I'm playing a pretty good game, and I feel like it might be something that I want to cover on the channel. So to go ahead and get into today's video, which is going to be my top 5 funniest scenes from black horror films. I'm probably going to be covering things over the past 2 decades or more, and these are just films that I feel like in the black horror film industry, which we don't really have a lot of, and definitely like not a lot of good black horror films, which is why I'm definitely happy that Jordan Peele's taking the lead on that area and just making it flourish again, because we got some classics and just some older black films, like I said, that possibly aren't the best, and then some that are my favorites that I'm going to cover today in this video, because a lot of the scenes from those favorites of mine are really funny scenes. I would even say a few of them have probably become pretty iconic just throughout social media and just, you know, on the internet period. You'll probably see memes about some of the ones I'm going to cover. And I also wanted to say that this is sort of in the midst of seeing that Jordan Peele's coming out with the remake for Candyman, which I'm pretty excited for. I wasn't a huge Candyman fan back in the day, but it was somewhat scared of it as a kid because this guy's covered in bees and shit, and he's going around with a hook for a hand and slicing motherfuckers up. So yeah, I thought that was pretty creepy, and I feel like a remake of it in Jordan Peele's reimagining would be really cool. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So to go ahead and get into my countdown, I'm going to start with number 5, which is going to be Blacula. So Blacula is about an African prince who travels with his princess to Transylvania to seek help from Dracula to end the global slave trade. This meeting doesn't go well, and the prince is bitten by Dracula and gets trapped in a tomb for the next 2 centuries. He awakens in 1972 LA, wreaking havoc while pursuing a woman who resembles his dead wife. So with this scene specifically, we have Dr. Gordon Thomas, who's sort of also a detective, who ends up going to a funeral home to examine teeth marks on a body after the body has been prepared for viewing. So this sort of irritates the mortician, who is also, you know, going through all this work to get the body prepared, and Dr. Thomas, who comes in, doesn't really care about any of that shit. Like, he's just there to figure out what the hell is going on with these bodies that have teeth marks on them, and he's not really too concerned about the work the mortician put in, which is annoying the mortician. So here's the scene.
Any other bruises or wounds?
Thank you for your help. Glad to be of service, Doctor. Anytime you need my help, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm at your service, Doctor. That's my job. Doctor? That is the rudest nigga I've ever seen in my life.
So there you have it. That's why that's probably starting off as my number 5, because it's a pretty short scene, but I felt like it was, you know, pretty funny for the moment. And yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to my number 4 pick, which is going to be Bones. Bones, if you guys remember, is about a gangster who's murdered, Jimmy Bones, played by Snoop Dogg. He rises from the grave to avenge his death. In this particular scene, Jimmy is paying a visit to one of the main culprits involved in his death. So yeah, here you go.
All night. I gotta go Wiki.
Fucked around and got me a Marilyn Monroe.
All right, come on now, bitch. Quit playing now. I don't want to play these type of games. Come on.
Shit. Almost broke. Alright, motherfucker. Y'all wanna do this shit? Motherfuckers wanna act ignorant? Huh? Jimmy Bones, was that you? Fuck you, Jimmy, you jive ass nigga.
Bones! Bones, you motherfucker, what you done to me?
Not half of what I'm planning on.
Man, this is some twisted shit, man. What you need with my head?
I'm just using it to carry your soul, sucker.
My soul? Fuck you. I killed you, you killed me, we even. Damn, why you gotta get all meta-fucking physical, nigga? Shit. I'm sick. Oh, you just gonna bang my shit up against the wall?
Now this particular scene is a little more cheesy than number 5, but I chose this one because I felt like since it was a little bit more up to date, and I think it was funny for also the time that it was released. It's worth like a number 4 choice, but not super funny, but haha, yeah, I get it. The guy's head is cut off and he's still talking shit. So yeah, I thought it was decent enough to make the list, but not necessarily to be at the top of the list. Let's go ahead and get into number 3. Now, this film, JD's Revenge, has actually gained quite a bit of popularity over the past few years on social media. So a lot of you who had any interest in checking out this video have probably seen this clip somewhere on the internet over the past few years. But anyway, JD's Revenge is about a young college student named Isaac who becomes possessed by a restless spirit of JD Walker, a 1940s gangster who's seeking revenge for his murder. And in the scene that I chose for my number 4 pick, JD once again takes control of Isaac, and I guess he wants to have a little bit of fun now that he's back from the grave. So he decides to get dressed up. He goes out to a bar where he meets a woman, and they head back to her place, and her husband shows up. So yeah, here's the clip.
That was the best fucking I ever had.
That's because you've been dealing with the ace.
You gotta leave? Where you going, sugar?
I got business to take care of.
Shit!
Better go talk to him.
What you doing back so soon, baby?
You got somebody with you, don't you, bitch?
No.
Yeah, you got somebody there with you, and I'm gonna kick the son of a bitch's ass.
I fucked your woman.
Sucker. Motherfucker, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna rip your ass apart. This nigga's crazy.
I'm the craziest nigga you ever gonna meet. You get up.
I'll send you to meet your maker.
Oh, big nigga got some sense.
So yeah, I know you guys have probably seen that scene before. It's a pretty funny scene. It's been in a lot of clips on social media and whatnot. So yeah, I definitely had to put that one on the list. And now for my number 2 pick. So I had quite a time trying to decide which out of my number 1 and 2 pick that I wanted to be number 1, because these are choices that I actually really like. I think both of these clips are pretty fucking funny. But I ended up going with Tales from the Hood. So yeah, Tales from the Hood is about a creepy mortician that attempts to scare a group of teenage drug dealers straight by telling them 4 horror stories. Now, if you've seen my first video, you know that I do like anthology series or anthology films. So this is an anthology movie, and the scene that I chose from this anthology is from the 3rd segment called KKK Comeuppance. So pretty much you can hear the name KKK and you already know that it's going to involve a racist.
I can't see fucking shit out of this thing.
We ready or what?
Oh, hold on, I'm fucking with my oh shit.
And this involves an ex-Grand Wizard, David Duke, who's a racist politician running for governor of Louisiana and decides to campaign from a mansion that sits on a former slave plantation. And the creepy thing about this mansion that sits on this plantation is that there's a mural of a voodoo priestess on the wall surrounded by little slave dolls in this mural. And when creepy shit starts to happen inside of this mansion to David Duke, you see the little voodoo dolls start to disappear from the mural, and you just see a white silhouette, implying that they are possibly out of the picture and running around the house. So the scene that I chose from this segment in particular is where David is having one hell of a time dealing with one of the voodoo dolls that escaped the mural. And after he thinks that he killed the doll with a shotgun, he returns back to the mural to talk a little shit, you know, to show off a little bit and the fact that he used a shotgun, but notices that there's several other dolls that are missing from the mural. So yeah, here you go.
I put it into your ass. Now I'm gonna blow off your little balls. Huh? Not even some voodoo bitch nigger spell can overcome the power of a double-barrel shotgun. God damn. Damn.
I thought this scene was really funny just to see the look on his face. You know, this racist guy, him and his shotgun, thinking he's the shit, and then nah, the shit ain't over yet. But that almost made it to my number one, but I don't think it was quite as funny because my number one happens to be a comedy horror, so it kind of has that going for it as well, although Tales from the Hood also had a lot of comedy elements. So as you can see, I had a lot of back and forth with this decision, but either way, you guys can let me know down in the comments what you felt like your order would have been and what you possibly would have added to this list. So let's go ahead and get into my number one pick. For my number one pick, I had to go with Vampire in Brooklyn, which stars Eddie Murphy. He plays a vampire named Maximilian who arrives in Brooklyn on a ship full of dead people. A detective that investigates the ship murders, named Rita, played by Angela Bassett, closely resembles someone Maximilian loved. And now he's hoping that he can get a dance with her that will bring her under his control. Now, this movie, in my opinion, is definitely a classic, but it's also seen by critics as Eddie Murphy is like one of his worst films. But fuck him, you know, I felt like this shit needed to be on the list. For anyone who's watching this video who has seen this film, you guys know that there's a lot of funny scenes from this movie. But the one I chose for the list is where Max transforms into the preacher, which allows him to create friction between Rita and her partner, who's also interested in her. So here's the scene.
Well, I don't want to talk about Jesus this evening, because as the big man teaches us, it's two sides to every story. What brings to mind the phrase, necessary evil. Can't be no such thing as necessary. How's evil necessary? That don't match. That's plaids and stripes, evil and necessary. Evil is necessary, thereby, if it's necessary, evil must be good. That's what I say. It must be. Take Brother Brown, for instance, one of our strongest deacons. Right. Brother Brown was down on Bushwick Avenue last night with a $2 hoe.
Oh, baby, I didn't know she was no hoe.
That's evil. But Brother Brown had a good time with that $2 hoe. You can push a $2 hoe to the line. She don't have no limits.
Rita, hey, I thought I'd find you here.
What are you doing here? You fucked her, didn't you?
We got us another one.
Nikki.
You know damn well who. What? Nikki. The whore of Babylon. That's what she was. Don't be ashamed because you went out and got your little ass. Look out. Ass is good. Evil's good and ass is good. And if you get you a piece of evil ass, whoo!
So there you have it. That's why I chose it as my number one. Pretty damn funny. Definitely a really funny scene. And I think it deserves to be number one on this list. If you guys like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about it, what I could have done better, what I could have included in the list, what you would have included in your list, and the feedback is much appreciated.